It is almost exactly 1.5 years since 5 British men, an IT consultant Peter Moore and 4 security guards, Alec, Alan, Jason and Jason, were taken hostage in Baghdad. And yet their story rarely makes the news. There's been minimal coverage of the case in 18 months, largely at the request of the Foreign Office. But now close friends of one of the men have decided to speak out, to challenge this virtual news blackout and pay public tribute to their friend. They've been speaking to our Home Affairs correspondent, Andy Davies.
On the 29th of May 2007, a 35-year-old IT specialist from Lincoln called Peter Moore was taken hostage in Iraq. With him were 4 security guards, all British. All 5 disappeared. Then in February this year on Arabic TV, a very different-looking Peter Moore appeared.
My name is Peter Moore. I've been held here for nearly 8 months now. I miss my family very much. I live in Lincoln in England and I just want to get out of here.
It was the first time in 9 months that his family and friends had received confirmation that he was alive. And this is the first time some of his closest friends have spoken publicly about it.
One part of me was really, really relieved because loads of people are saying, just accept he's dead, he's dead. You know, he's not. You have to accept that and move on. I was like, I know he's not dead. I'd feel it if he was dead. And I was so relieved that there was this video, and then other people were saying to me, well, you don't know when they really recorded that video. You don't know how long ago it was. And then, but I clung on to it, well, this is him and he's alive.
To Gordon Brown, the deal is simple. Release the prisoners.
It was the look in his eyes, like he
Sunken.
looked so worn out and tired, and he always had laughter in his eyes.
That's all they want, just to have their people released and then we can go home.
The video was released 9 months ago. Nothing's been heard from him since. Peter Moore's friends are now questioning publicly the efficacy of a Foreign Office strategy which to date has largely discouraged media coverage of the case. This, their first broadcast interview, conducted with the knowledge of the hostages' families, is part tribute, part protest.
It was a surreal situation. I'm going about my everyday business in Essex, a long way from Guyana, and I suddenly realised that it's Peter who's left Guyana and is now kidnapped in Iraq. It's sort of the stuff of fiction, really, but it isn't. It's really, really here.
So.
And I think we just want to raise the profile. It seems so long. So we need to raise the profile so that he's not forgotten. Simple as that.
It's understood that when Peter Moore and his security detail were taken, the kidnappers made it clear, for reasons unknown, that they wanted a media blackout. The Foreign Office seemingly acquiesced and engineered what in Britain felt very much like a news blackout on the story. But then the kidnappers themselves appeared to break their own embargo by releasing 6 months on this, the first of 3 videos of their captives.
I've been here now held for 173 days, and I feel we have been forgotten. I miss my daughter and family very much, and would like to return very soon. It seems here that time has no end.
The principal demand of the hostage takers, the so-called Islamic Shia resistance in Iraq, has been for the release of this man, Qais al-Khazali, a former spokesman for the Mahdi army and currently in US custody. On the anniversary of the men's capture, the Foreign Office helped the families make a televised appeal, but it was very much a one-off broadcast. The efforts to secure the release of the hostages have been coordinated by Foreign Office officials here in London and in Iraq. The Metropolitan Police's Hostage and Crisis Negotiation Unit has also been involved, and to date their combined view on the media coverage of this matter has been very simple. The less said in public, the better.
I gave a birthday party for Peter because he told me he'd never had a birthday party. So we had it as a children's party and we tried to do face paints, but as you can see, we didn't have any face paints.
Peter Moore's friends cannot understand how boosting the profile of their friend will undermine any attempts to bring him home. They met him in Guyana in South America several years ago, working for the charity VSO. A fluent Mandarin speaker, he used his IT skills in flood relief projects, and on his beloved motorcycle helped make this short Guyanese road movie.
Oh, I've got to get myself together. Face the wet and dusty weather.
Incredibly gentle, incredibly hardworking. He's a person you want to be your friend. You sort of feel secure with him around. And I would say a genuine humanitarian, a very good humanitarian.
Peter Moore left Guyana for Iraq in the spring of last year. He was contracted to set up databases in the nascent finance ministry, emailing his friends regularly from Baghdad.
There's no need to worry, I am okay, but it definitely feels like I'm in a war zone. Makes the dangers of another day of mortars. 3 landed right in the compound. No major injuries, loads of damage though. Car park and IT training next week. I'll spend 5 days a week for 6 weeks in the red zone. To be honest, I sometimes feel safer there as I'm less of a target, unlike the green zone.
You try to imagine what kind of what Peter goes through. What do you go through? How are you kept? How are you treated? And what will it do to you if you're 18 months being kept, maybe in a room, maybe in a cellar, in a country that is so remotely from our reality?
I don't know what to say. Finish.
The 4 friends are planning a vigil for Peter Moore and the 4 other hostages on the 12th of December.
Why do you think it's important to do this now?
We think enough is enough. As I said earlier, you keep quiet at first because it might make sense because other people will be doing the work behind the scenes. But it goes on and on and on and nothing happens. Nobody says, well, there are sort of statements that say everything's being done, but I don't know what's being done. So now I think is the time to stir the waters a bit, just gently, and just keep it on the up. And let's see if it worked for Alan Johnson. Vigils and things. Will it work for Pete?
In response, the Foreign Office told Channel 4 News that they remained deeply concerned about the unjustified hostage-taking, they remained in close touch with the men's families, and that much was happening behind the scenes.
We continue to work intensively with the Iraqi government and others to try to secure their safe release. Contrary to some reports, the FCO has not imposed a news blackout. But we have encouraged responsible reporting of this case, where lives are at risk. We have supported efforts by their families to appeal through the media to those holding the 5 men.
It is now a year and a half since the 5 men were taken hostage. If this intervention achieves just one thing, say his friends, it's that somewhere, somehow, a few familiar voices reach him.
Peter, I want you to know that I and all your friends and everybody who's ever met you is sending you lots of love to stay strong and keep yourself safe, and that we're looking forward to the time when you can come out, and I want you to come visit me in Ireland and we can get a motorbike and go around Ireland and then go visit your friends in England and go across and visit Koen in Amsterdam. And I'm hoping that that image will help you focus on your future and some nice things that might happen to you in the future, and just keep yourself until we can see you again and we can give you a big hug. That's all.
Peter's friends. Peter Moore, hostage in Iraq for the past 18 months. The friends talking to Andy Davis exclusively for Channel 4 News. Andy